Welcome to the Out of Control show with Rusty J and Kent C. Straight. It's about to get dangerously dangerous.
What's out of control?
Who's out of control?
Where's it out of control?
Jesus, Kent. It's so out of control. I don't even know where to start.
I don't know either. It's been a crazy week. You know what, folks? Honestly, our uploads will probably slow down in the summer.
Sure will.
It's cold where we live 8 months of the year, okay? We got to get outside.
4 months.
Okay?
4 months
and
to
we're
play.
lucky if it don't snow in half of that.
That's right. So
sorry for a little less content in the summer. Hopefully you like getting outside too. But you know what's the craziest thing that's been out of control? I mean, come on. And I know it's kind of already almost out of the news cycle, believe it or not. Trump got shot in the fucking face.
did he ever?
Right in the ear.
And had that man not moved his head split seconds before, he'd be playing a harp.
We were so close to probably some really bad stuff happening, man.
Very bad, Kent. And well, even this has changed things, and really, it's.
But how did they let it happen? Like we've all, if anyone who's paid attention to this or looked at any of the news has seen the repeated, mistakes or whatever, failures of the protective agencies and whatnot. So none of us understand why it went down the way it went down. It doesn't really make sense.
Well, it looks to me like it was coordinated to assassinate a presidential candidate. Nobody else is saying it, but let me say it. That's what it looks like to me.
Well,
they couldn't even get it right. It almost looks like something that happened 60 years ago to another president, and it's brutal, and it's
brutal protection. Brutal.
It's
like
wow.
there-
It's really it's breathtaking. It's
there was potential mass problems across probably North America if that was another half an inch or an inch.
Well, do you think people would have went out of control had his head blew up like a melon that day? Like if they were successful and assassinated him that day, do you think the right would have burned down and started a civil war?
No.
No, the Kool-Aid's is too good, man. And maybe the patriarchy is dead, but nothing would have happened, and we'd be looking for a new Republican candidate for president, kind of like the Democrats are right now with the old Wild Joe. You know, he's gone, and Pedo Joe's on his way to hopefully a real darker place.
But like this whole Trump thing is out of control because like I know the Secret Service, the head lady resigned. And she took a brutal beating and whatever. I saw that meeting she was in, a verbal beating.
It was a fiasco.
Like when in that Congress,
she should be in jail.
Hammered her.
Maybe she should be in jail.
Well,
a lot of, I guess, just coincidental things happened that day that they were able to watch this guy for an hour, and snipers watch the guy and watch him take shots. Like they watched him for 42 seconds and they were talking about engaging. And then this guy finally said he engaged after shots went flying. Like, wow. It stinks to me, Kent. It stinks of,
I think a lot of people feel that way.
And I think, hopefully there's a good investigation and the people that are responsible for letting this happen are held accountable, and that's what should happen because like so many things, why did all of a sudden Jill Biden had a event that was very close and they took his Secret Service detail to go there just coincidentally, right?
You know what, you actually just changed my mind on something because for the last little while I was thinking, man, if that bullet was a half inch the other way, America would go into chaos. But just a minute or so ago, you had said that, conservative type people tend not to be burning cities down and stuff.
Right.
And that I would believe that probably to be mostly right.
Right.
So even if something did
Well,
go
just
the other
a
way and
just
was
a
terrible
recap.
that day,
Right. Look at France. The so-called left won the election, and they still burnt down their country and rioted in the streets and did a bunch of stuff that like you can't make these people happy, Kent. And I don't know what will, and I don't know if that means civil war or you got to go to war because the drums of war are beaten as we speak, and they're not stopping, man. And we're getting closer. We've got Mr. Netanyahu paying America a visit, and so the leader's in the house, and he's
well, the RCMP
spending some time with Mr. Trump, right?
Yeah.
So
as I mentioned earlier, the RCMP just released a report where 2 men were arrested for making online threats against Prime Minister Trudeau, and one was from Calgary and one was from Edmonton. And the whole online thing is starting to get serious now. So as we talk about presidents being shot at and how we don't like Canadian governments and the things that we talk about, just to be very clear, I can only speak for myself. I don't wish any harm on the people who have harmed our country in many ways and families and
no, but we demand justice.
No, but just let me finish. I don't wish harm on them. I want to be very clear as we make these shows and we talk about this dastardly shit that these people do. We want to be very clear that we don't condone violence against these people, even though we sometimes have to talk about violence in relation to politics like Trump, right? Just to be very clear. I wish jail time and accountability and actual justice for the people that wasted our money and harmed our country and put all kinds of Canadians closer to poverty there, Rusty, but just wanted to make that very clear.
Oh, I get it. That's right. No,
we're also looking for solutions, like you say, too.
Well, we have to look for solutions, and we can't just bitch and whine about the problem at hand. And really, that's the problem at hand, I think, is people aren't willing to start talking about solutions and working on towards some solutions. I don't see anybody trying to stop these wars or talking about peace. I don't know. Netanyahu's in the house. Hopefully Trump is talking peace with them, and when he leaves, there will be a ceasefire and we can stop killing innocent people and children for nothing, right? And maybe come out with some kind of diplomatic solution to this. At one day, and I'll keep saying it every episode, man, the world has to come together and we have to basically work things out. And we have to give and we have to take and we got to find a middle ground. And truly, that is the only time that we'll be a species that are united on this third rock from the sun. Because what we're doing, I don't know how much smarter people got to think, but nobody is working on peace and nobody is pushing any peace. And it's
not truly, yeah.
Not truly. I don't see it. Did watching the opening ceremonies of the Olympics give you a peaceful vibe? I don't know about bearded ladies doing gymnastics and shaking it in a thong, but it did nothing for me, Kent, and I'm going to tell you.
It didn't make you think of water polo?
Well, I'm not watching the Olympics.
Field hockey?
I'm not watching the Olympics. It ain't happening. Sorry, Kent. Ain't happening.
Hey, didn't our women's soccer team over there got caught? They were using a drone or something, and they were filming.
Of course they were.
New Zealand's practice.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently. And the coach, I think, had to step down, or they got rid of her. Or there's some crazy stuff going on with
Well, here's the thing,
Canada
Kent.
women's soccer.
You know what I find? This
What?
in right now in this day and age, I find it very appalling that they could fly a drone around in that airspace. And that airspace should have some kind of defense system from, said drone attacks. Because we've seen in war-torn countries of in today's age, and people like a $500 drone is taking out $1 million tank, man, and basically killing everybody on board. That's effective. that is economical warfare. It really is. So, like, if you could just like fly a few of those in there and whack some of those athletes, boy, that would
I
shake the
mean,
hornet's nest, wouldn't it?
it wouldn't be the first time the Olympics would be
A
attacked.
target, or well, we live in days, so
And-
we live in days where that is a very big possibility, and yet some crazy Canadians can fly a drone, doing the old peep show on people,
Yeah, I know.
or whatever they were doing. Yeah, they were looking at their practice. Was it a couple dudes?
No, it was women's soccer, man. It was.
I know, but it was like the coaches checking out the women's soccer players.
I
Like
don't know.
maybe they were good looking ladies.
I think.
Well, no, I'm not watching the Olympics to find out.
You know what? I've always liked the Olympics more because these are the people that are still striving to make the money. They're still striving to get the contracts and the endorsements, right? Like, pro sports is awesome for everybody, obviously, but I've always liked just below that where they're still trying to get there.
Right.
Like
No, I get that.
like
Yeah,
high tier junior hockey,
sure.
stuff like that. Like it's good and it's good hockey. It's good.
As
it's
long,
good sports.
Kent, as long as the ladies are competing against ladies and the boys are competing against the boys. No switching of the genders. Keep it real. Keep it,
just for
classic.
safety
And
alone
for everything.
because the ladies
Keep
are
it
getting
fair.
crunched.
Keep it
The
fair.
ladies are getting crunched.
And hey, if you want to make anything different, maybe make a different set of games. You have the Paralympics, and now you have the Trans Olympics, and you can put whatever you want to do. Steroids? Well, you go to the Trans Olympics, and you'll be the best Trans Olympian on the planet. And you'll run like 100 meters in like 7 seconds.
And
Boom! You'll be so fast, you'll
and-
be burning your shoes up.
And to be honest, if it was its own thing and there was truly
That's right.
a bunch of people competing in it, I would watch it just to see what the numbers would be.
Absolutely.
Like how fast can
exactly.
someone do 100 meters?
That's right. How fast can you
Right.
push it?
Now-
How
now,
much can you lift?
If they kept it fair, I'm not saying I'm buying tickets to go to the Olympics.
No, there's
right. I'm just saying
there's only one
rule.
rule. There's no rules. There's no rules because
It's
if
just
you want to be
anybody
a
can
dude and you want to go
Yeah.
and wear a ponytail and go bench press 1,000 pounds in the women's category,
Go for it.
go hard,
Yeah,
man,
yeah. It would be something.
and and make it as high, just full throttle, bro.
You know what's out of control? And my heart goes out to the people. Jasper, Alberta.
Yeah, that is
Fires are back. We've
Yeah.
had so much rain.
our
Some areas
prayers
did-
are with all those people and everyone affected. It affects millions, and it affects a global population, Ken, because people from all over the world have that's one of their destinations. I've been there so many times, and basically all through my life, and meet or talk to somebody from a different part of this planet, and it was beautiful. And that was one of the places that made Canada great and made what defined a Canadian, because you could go there and there was no discrimination of any sorts. It was a place to hang out and enjoy the beauty, enjoy Mother Nature, and just chill. And it's gone, like totally gone. Like I don't even know at this point what's left.
Well,
Like last we heard, 70% of that town's gone. And
No, I hate to.
is that wrong? Am I hear
It's-
wrong news?
70% of the town remains.
Oh well, that's
Good
great,
news.
beautiful. Okay,
Okay, the surrounding, I forget if it was the east or west side, and like about 30 or 33% of the town they figure. So that's bad, but it could have been much worse, and thankfully not. And I mean, people in Western Canada, we're used to dealing with fires in different areas.
right.
And I know that right now it's a very hot political issue online, because there's the finger pointing begins, right? The folks on the left and the media say climate change, and other folks say, well, poor forest management and lightning and things like that. So I did see videos of politicians from Calgary, I believe, or Alberta in general. They had mentioned that there was a big pine beetle problem there, and
Right.
a lot of dead trees.
Well, a lot of people are saying,
they were
bad
dealing with the
forest
dead
management.
forest.
And that forest management, I think, falls into the federal
Parks
jurisdiction,
Canada.
right? And so basically our federal government somewhat, is responsible for failing us and those people because of poor forest management. Maybe they could have done things. And what I don't understand is if they could, and that'll be going forward, it'll be just a finger pointing.
Well, this is the debate that folks
right?
are having right now.
Sure, that's right. And who's to blame, right? And nobody will be held accountable, and nobody will be held to. No, they won't blame nobody because like I say, the fingers will just keep pointing back and forth. But hey, good news: 70% of the town exists. That's great, man. That's great news. Like, because
that's the last report I heard.
Well, that's great.
Could have changed by now, but thankfully, the good news that I haven't. No one specifically said that I've seen, but I also haven't seen a single report of anyone being harmed or killed.
Well, that's good news.
I don't think so yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't heard any bad news regarding that. So I think that's a good thing.
Super positive. Yeah, no, that's great, Ken. And
the communication and emergency services.
Well, hopefully they can.
Job.
Yeah. Looks like Danielle Smith is there. She said she's handling things and going to be there for
that's
going
all
forward.
Like all part of this finger pointing right now, though, is people are blaming the UCP. People are blaming.
Well, but that's the thing. You can blame, but you know what?
But here's
it's going to be what? Well, yeah.
Apparently, the UCP did, like previously, the NDP in Alberta cut the firefighting budget by like millions and millions of dollars. And then the UCP came in, and there was some cuts, I think, to different things, or like a rappelling team, something funding gone, and just different things where maybe some money could have been used better. I don't know all the details yet. I got to look into it a bit more, but.
Oh, Kent! Somebody's fucking
like the blame can be spread
lining
around.
their pockets. It's
the blame can be spread around.
Sure can, and exactly. But we'll just keep pointing fingers.
But people have been warning about that forest and the pine beetles and the dead trees for years.
Sure, they have, and
instead of like the finger pointing, I wish we had solutions.
Well, here's
like real solutions.
Here's an observation.
Canadians. Go ahead, hit me.
The man that. So the jurisdiction that place falls under is federal.
Yeah.
And our prime minister there, he's just over, on the other side at Tofino, enjoying his beautiful vacation and hanging out with reporters and asking questions. And
did you see that report?
Answering, and basically, counter single. Yeah, they were able to get in there and get raw with him and talk to him. And I don't know, like, I guess he asked some good questions. And hey, good for you, bud. I'm surprised. Good thing you didn't get arrested this time, bud. Right? Why didn't you? Every other time you did, but this time you didn't. So high five. But here's the thing. He's talking shit with him, and they're hanging out, and he doesn't have the time to go over to Jasper and hang out with Danielle and say, hey, we're going to fix this, and we're going to, respond. That city, dude, is one of the most renowned cities in this country, and it's
hurting bad.
Yeah, you betcha. So.
And apparently
not impressed, but hey, be expected from that guy, because every time, and he's done it in the past and over the years, we've had fires, we've had floods, we've had all sorts of shit go down, and that guy's out on vacation or he's nowhere to be found. And life goes on, and they just change the subject and moving right along, and something else happens, right? Because we live in a state of polycrisis, bro, and it's not fucking stopping. And what's the next one, right? Did you see Yellowstone?
Yeah, minor eruption there.
Like minor, like I was waiting for like
I
the
know.
next one to come and like basically just it grow from there because that thing's gonna blow its lid. Like it is well overdue, bro, and that could get so out of control so quick.
Oh, if
and
Yellowstone popped
we
off?
are all fucked. We are fucked.
So the best thing to do is live your best life.
Yeah, right. And kiss your ass goodbye if that happens, and
hug your family.
Especially if you're like within a 600-mile radius, you're instantaneously going to die, right? Like you're fucked. Like,
And on
no,
a
it
lighter
really is.
note, a
Yeah.
word from our sponsors.
Hey,
Still just kidding. We don't have any sponsors.
no, not yet. But hey, if anybody wants to throw us some merch or want to, wear some clothes or, I guess promote things and stuff, let us know.
Biden 2024 shirts.
Hell
on
no,
sale
not what we
now.
made.
Just kidding,
Yeah.
man. Oh, Jesus, burn it all down. You know what is also out of control?
My drinking habit?
No.
No?
No. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
Could
I guess it just depends who's counting.
But I don't know, man. It's like the news turns over so fast, so quickly. Like we just had like a
Yeah, it's out of control, Kent. It
Like-
is fucking.
but it's
you can't
crazy.
keep up.
Like it's just crazy, man. Like on a good note, I'm hearing more and more layoffs. And I hate to say, like, I want all Canadians to have jobs, and I hate to hear companies leaving and shit. But this media that, like, has really pissed me and many people off.
Yeah, their
know-
global stock was like 11 cents a share.
I mean,
Did I read that right, Kent? Was that
well,
what it was?
Chorus Entertainment is the owning the
Excuse
owner
me.
company of Global, and it was last reported they're having 25% layoffs. So I jab at him here and there because I'm like, you know what, these guys have helped us get into this situation by not doing their job. Like, it's just the reality of it, and it's the reason we started a podcast. It's the reason why many Canadians go online and independent media to not saying we're always right, but at least trying to get our country back on the right track and like people thinking the right way again.
Well,
like
it sparked
hard work
conversation.
in business.
Yeah, it
and
sparked
solutions.
Conversation,
Like
Kent.
as far as the forest fires are going, like why don't we have more equipment and more crews?
We sent all that money to Ukraine,
Right?
Kent.
Like if these people are serious about climate change and they tell us we're going to have more floods and fires and heavy storms and hurricanes, why don't we do more to deal with that shit? And I'm not talking blow money here, lose money there, hire more people for this shit. I mean, actually use the cold weather that we have to our advantage to do controlled burns. Hire more forest management people, which creates jobs and lowers unemployment.
Costs money, Kent.
It costs.
It costs money.
It costs
and
money
we
to burn
don't
cities
have,
down too.
Hey, listen. We don't have that kind of cash for Canada. Canada is all about giving, giving, and giving. And we're giving more than you or I can afford. We are spending and we are taking care of everybody around the world while our freaking country burns to the ground, right? And who's responsible for that, and who's going to be accountable?
And why do these politicians always get a summer break? Like, wouldn't it be refreshing one time if they were to say, you know what, shit's a dumpster fire right now, and we're going to work the whole year like a normal person, and we're going to come in and try to solve problems, even though we mostly just shit talk each other.
Okay, because you know why? Because Klaus said they can take the summer
Yeah,
off.
but seriously though, like every now and then you got to put in some overtime, and Canada's in the third fucking period here.
They don't,
and we're down by 2 goals.
It's apparent.
And our fucking goalie went on vacation.
They don't.
All right?
They don't work for us.
It's
Kent.
like
they don't work for us.
sometimes you got to put your big boy pants on and go, I got to go to work today.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't go fucking surfing.
You know what needs to happen, Kent? I guess
we need a new government.
Yeah, we the people to put on our big boy panties, march up to Ottawa,
Peacefully.
and give them a swift kick in the ass
Peacefully
and say,
verbally.
get to work or get out. There comes a time where you need a reset, I guess. And as much as there need to be resets in all sorts of ways, what you're saying is a new government is a reset. And something that we, the people, have more representation, and a government that's going to push, more of a peaceful solution and basically get some things that under control that are totally out of control, my friend. Like, we're going to take 6,000 more Gazans, or no, 9,000, right? 9,000 more
Does it
people.
even matter?
Nah, it doesn't matter. It's a
just
drop in
more.
a bucket for what they're bringing
It's
in.
just
They're just
more.
like, the door's open and it's wide open. And are we taking overflow from the States too? Like, it's out of control when it comes down to this immigration problem we have. And we have, well, thankfully, only 70% of Jasper burnt, but we don't have
30.
Sorry, yes, 30% burnt, but really 100% is displaced, and we don't have any place to put those people on top of more people that they're bringing in. And that goes for every other part of this country that is going to, have some sort of natural disaster or some kind of thing happen. Look, it's raining and it's not going to stop, and now we're going to go from fires to floods, right? Because it sure seems like if Mother Nature is out of control, she's going to throw you a curveball. Well, and hopefully this rain is putting some of that fire out across our province right now, and giving those people a state of getting things back under control, and get them out and give them a break, because we have some hail to all the firefighters out there, and we're getting some from Mexico right now. Hey, you guys are doing a great job, and keep up the great work. And
And here's what I think is shameful.
Thank you.
This is what Rusty, and this is what really tweaks my nipples. Because the same people that cry and scream climate change, okay, and they increase the fear, and then they increase the taxes, and it increases the hardship and the poverty in Canada, and they use people's emotions. And they don't use that money to actually fight forest fires that much or buy more equipment. Sure, they fund stuff every year, but if you're going to terrify the entire world about climate change to the point where children are crying and thinking that they're not going to grow up or have a life, and people like Greta say the world's ending or whatever in 6 or 8 years and all that shit that people always say, if they were serious about it, we would have all the firefighting equipment we could ever need, all the snow plows, all the helicopters, all the paramedics and first aid teams.
That actually
right? So that
loves its country.
If you're gonna and that's why I just want to speak to Canadians, because at the end of the day, I live here too, and I care about. I might not know you. And we all have our own problems and bills to pay and things like that. But I want us to all be okay so that we all move forward and do okay as a country and generally have a safe and happy life.
Right.
And we have governments that put us and pit us against each other and fuck with us and pay the media to lie to us and then terrify you with problems and not do anything to really solve the problems.
No, they
right
just keep increasing them. Because at our hardest time, Ken, at our lowest time through a pandemic, they increased the carbon tax, and Justin Trudeau and the Liberal government gave themselves a raise. Yes, folks, that's not conspiracy theory. That is fact. And I think they've
They got
done
a
that
couple
more than
raises.
once.
They got a
right?
couple
No, and
raises.
they've got raises through COVID.
Raises
but
with an S.
when we were, didn't know if we were going to live or die, or if COVID is like the craziness at that point in time. And they're giving themselves raises when, looking back, they should all be in jail. And I will say that every day. They all need to be in jail. They need to be held accountable for their actions, and there needs to be a Nuremberg trial. Well, there really needs to be. That has to happen throughout the world, because this is, I'm sorry, but it's how can you say, well, I guess I can't say them words because it'll ping the AI, and we'll get more shadow banned. But
well, the words that came to my mind was basically worst human rights crime possibly in the history of planet Earth that affected billions of people.
It's definitely billions.
In multiple
ways.
ways.
It is the biggest genocide. The biggest genocide. That's the word I was going to say, and fuck it, I'm saying it. That has happened on our planet today, and it's still happening, and it's not going away. And died suddenly is a real thing, and we're seeing the effects. Like, I just read another one where, like, the dam is breaking. It's going to crack open, and it's going to spew here. And I don't know if World War III is going to start, just before that or after. But when when there is enough evidence to support everything that the so-called tinfoil hat people, anti-vaxxers, have been saying about this, and to this date, most of it has been correct, and we've all been vindicated, right? And many people, many doctors, many scientists,
were silenced and censored, yeah.
Right, but have been basically proven to be true. And, looking back, so going forward now, A, who do you believe? And B, what do we do now? Like,
well, they even influence
how many
the internet.
How many people this affects? And this stuff is biological warfare. And I will say that. I said that right from the get-go, and I'll keep saying it. The origin of COVID-19 come from a lab through gain-of-function science. The vaccine that was basically, we have no idea what that is. It keeps changing, and the data that's being basically placed forward
It's harmed more people than they.
Well, it's harmed more people, and the clots that they're pulling out of people, and more of these embalmers coming forward and presenting the evidence that they're seeing, and it's all the same, and it's all, so whatever has taken, like right now, like I said, I just read a headline where the American military is seeing some serious issues in their soldiers, having cardiac problems and going on disabilities and not being able to perform their military duties. And so that being said, if you got a broken military, that sure leaves you weak. Or you have a broken population, because if it isn't the military, there's a lot of people. And I know personally that since taking that, has either battled with, colds and flus, and they seem like to be a little more sicker, and they're complaining. And I've had friends that are not here anymore because of that stuff. And, they were perfectly fine. And in 1 year, boom, cancer, dead, right? Another family member developed heart problems, got myocarditis, had to go in for valve replacement, and then after that valve replacement, never really healed, and couldn't basically, she just basically shut down and died. So
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's tough, and it affects a lot of people, and I'm not the only one, and there's thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands of stories like that out there because of it. So when that dam breaks, there's going to be hell to pay, Kent. And I'm sorry, but there has to be accountability. They're still pushing this poison. It's plain and simple. It is biological warfare, and World War III has already begun. And the only reason why people don't realize that, because CNN hasn't said, hey, World War III just begun. Because it has. That's biological warfare, man. And who released it? Who released it up on the land? And we've talked about it before. Did it come from labs? We talked about the espionage that we still haven't had any accountability or any names. And, oh, yeah, Justin, if you're watching, I doubt it, but if you are, release the names, bro. Who are the traitors? And if it's you,
it's so
Justin,
out of control.
if it's fucking you, then you need to go to jail, bro. Bye-bye. Yeah, shadow banned. We're being shadow banned. Yeah. Oh, shit. Well, we'll see you guys on Rumble. We're there too, okay? We're going to be on Rumble, Spotify. We're going to be all over the place. Maybe even Truth Social. We got to talk to the man. They haven't accepted me yet, but maybe they'll accept you, Kent. You look like a respectable, individual.
Looks can be deceiving.
Law-abiding
but
citizen.
There's so much out of control to even fit it in one episode. I mean, we have...
it doesn't stop.
This is another thing that is out of control. Is the RCMP just released a report that... I had mentioned earlier, sorry, that 2 men had threatened Trudeau, right? But this reporter, Kean, was able to run right up to him on the beach. And the RCMP were 30 seconds away, he said, right? So I'm just thinking like...
It was staged, Kent.
No, but well, I don't think Keenan, he's been arrested too many times, and like he was an old rebel reporter. I don't think he staged anything. But here's the weird thing is the RCMP reports, the same people who guard the prime minister, right? It's not like a different company, a different organization. It's the same guys. They say...
What happened if Keane...
Yeah, but they say we've arrested these guys for, threatening the prime minister, meaning there's threats out there. So the same organization walks like 30 seconds behind them on like a mostly deserted beach. Like whether you like Trudeau or not, or any prime minister, how unprotected is our prime minister really? Like I don't like Trudeau. I want him to go away. I want him to go to jail. But that could be Pierre. That could be Harper. That could be Chrétien. That could be any future prime minister. If there's threats to the point where the RCMP is releasing this information to the public, I thought it was strange to release it around, the same time as like about a week after the Trump assassination. They just also go, oh, and Trudeau was this and that and the other, right? And no one should threaten anybody or the prime minister. It's just odd timing to me that they released it right at that time. But the same people that are telling us there's threats against the prime minister protect him and walk so far behind him
that's why
some random dude.
Okay, that's why to me I would think it would look staged. That, and you got a good point there. If that guy was able to get that close to him and get a exclusive interview, and there wasn't only that guy, there was a woman, okay, I believe her name is I guess on Twitter or X is Cat Canada, and these two got the exclusive interview. Mm-hmm. That's my understanding, because she was running the camera.
Yes, that's my understanding.
He was conducting the interview. And great, if they were able to do that. And hey, you know what? That's the way it should be. And our political officials, like, yeah, great, he's on holidays, but the guy's always on holidays. So, to go and answer a few questions, great for Justin, and great for them to be able to pull that off. But like you said, there's holes in his security. And does that mean now that he looks like he's more vulnerable and he better tighten things up? Because,
it's embarrassing.
Some could say he's got a lot of blood on his hands, right?
There's a lot of angry people.
There's a lot of angry people that don't like him, and he's affected a lot of people's lives with a lot of the things that he did in the recent past, through the COVID years. So,
Well, I think the attempt on past and possibly future President Trump.
well, come on, look at Mexico. How
shook
many
these
of those
guys up.
politicians died there, and
Yeah.
candidates and people? How who runs for office there unless you're the cartel? Because I'm going to say every one of those people there are probably cartel representatives and not people of the or representatives of the government.
Probably have to.
You know, and now is that what's going to happen here? Like that's what it's looking. They can whack a presidential candidate, a former president, and get away with it, or somebody can. And hey, but here, devil's advocate. What if the Republicans staged that and basically took a shot at him? You know, they knew they would never kill him, but they could do it for ratings. I'm not saying that's true, but
is it possible?
like,
sure, but
if you're going to go down a conspiratorial road, who knows, man? The way I look at it is you can't believe anything. You can't even believe us because, you know, what do we know? We're just two guys having a couple beers.
This is true. This
enjoying,
is true. It's not like we're an authority on shit.
That's right. We're just, brother, we're just here shooting the shit and trying to keep people up to date with things that are out of control and hopefully come up with some solutions and find a middle ground and talk about peace, brother, and talk about changing things for the right. Like, where do we go after you try and kill a president, right? Like, how? Where's the positive road from there? He made it. He didn't die. He's keeping on going. And where did Joe go? He just disappeared. And when he showed up, he was like 6 inches taller than his old lady. Like, what the hell? They don't even try. You know why? Because they think we're stupid. And you know why they think we're stupid? Look at the opening ceremonies of the 2024 Olympics. And right there, they think we're stupid. Like, I'm sorry, but it looks like something that came out of a satanic ritual, crazy satanic undertones. I don't know. Like, it doesn't give me a very warm, cozy feeling. And I will not be watching the Olympics, Kent. I'm sorry. Yeah, pull that up. Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't seen it, but it just happened today. And I was like, when the bearded lady was running around twerking her stuff, I was concerned. Bro. Anyway.
Okay.
No.
Well, I got to turn the volume down.
Heavy metal music and fire and, some crazy lady on a boat. They started it with Marianne Antoinette's head. She was holding her head and this woman started singing and she was decapitated, man.
Well, I'm looking at the images here. Sorry, you have to forgive me. I just need to see this because I know nothing of this, and this is the Olympics. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
Oh, it's totally out of control, man.
I don't know what that has to do with the Olympics, but okay, I know what you're talking about now. That was weird.
No, you haven't seen anything. Wait till you watch more of it, bro.
I could get back.
Wait till you see the Marie Antoinette and the heavy metal band. They're just rocking it and very dark undertones. And these satanic chants and what's another word that they these rituals and they sing these songs and they say that a lot of this music are these satanic chants, and that's something that we need maybe do a bigger show on, or maybe we can talk on it right now a little bit. But is Luciferianism or
I don't know anything about it.
Well, Kent,
might have to do some research first.
Yeah, well, do a little research. We could have a little talk, but it is deep and it's pretty organized. And if you start looking around and you start seeing the signs, right, it kind of speaks volumes. And, hopefully one day, some say that symbolism will be their downfall. And hopefully that happens. I don't know, man, but there's a lot of evil people doing a lot of evil stuff. Like, it ties into this evil and child trafficking and like when you get down, like right now, there's people that are doing some, some people are doing some deep diving into Mr. Picton and that world and how out of control, like this trafficking of people and children really has been, and how, there's right now, Kent, it's the biggest industry in the planet. Right now, trafficking people, okay? And a majority of that trafficking is in children, but the trafficking alone is the biggest industry in the world to date. And that is 100% correct. So slavery is very well going and is bigger than it has ever been in the world that we know. And hopefully we can get that back under control, because it's totally out of control, and it's something that we should be talking about more frequently. And there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of good people on X, and there's a lot of doing some good research, like on Picton. The broadcast, hail it to you ladies. Yeah, you opened my eyes and sparked a lot of interest into a lot of the stories here in Canada and some of the stuff, because I've always wondered and always looked, and because what was going down in the States and the stuff the rabbit holes I went down there with the child trafficking world and like around the world, it just blows your mind. And it's like, well, what's happening here in Canada? And sure enough, but to get that kind of info now, like people are saying you got to go onto the dark web. You got to be able to navigate there, because, Google is limited, and the information you get now is all filtered and biased, right? So it's harder to do, right? And so it's a crazy world, man. And that is like, there's a lot of stuff like that, the evil. And basically everything I've looked and researched and thought and read and boils down to the old classic battle against good and evil. And seems like evil's winning right now, and they're kind of a little more public about it. And, they're putting it out there. Like I say, watch the full opening ceremonies of that. And then after that, watch the opening ceremonies of this tunnel in Switzerland and wonder what the hell is going on. Did they dig a hole to hell or what? I don't know, but that is interesting. It's an hour of some very interesting symbolism, bro. Like, I don't know what all that had to do with a tunnel, but obviously they, check that out too, man. It's, or anybody out there, check it out. It's on YouTube.
Well, the Swiss tunnel diggers are notoriously devilish.
But before you go, like, subscribe, share,
absolutely, folks.
Right.
Enjoy your summer. Join in on the conversation. Like, share, subscribe. We appreciate any involvement or interaction. We thank you very much.
Absolutely. And keep it real.
Keep your sticks on the ice. Take care.
Yeah. Ciao all.